perfect peace.
Three cement factories shut down. GSA accuses them of using inferior materials to Professor Alex Dodu, Director General of the GSA. 81 schools in flood-hit areas resume. That's some good news.
Yeah. Good news.
And then break from past. Budget must show tax reform. That's coming from Na and Danny.
Let me take you to the Ghanaian Times. The big story for this morning: expectations of 2024 budget economic policy. Don't impose new taxes, rather introduce new initiatives to broaden tax net. Economists are urging government, and there's a photograph of Professor Peter Korte here on the front page. Well, I insist that there needs to be a line item in that budget dealing with the crisis in the Lower Volta areas, because those communities need to heal. Also on the front page this morning, President nominates 3 Supreme Court judges. GMA elects Professor York as a vice president, and Asantehene launches $10 million fund for Heal Komfanoche project. And then there's a story here that says Ghana wins bid to host IFPIM Africa headquarters. Kojo Nkrumah is on the front page.
Okay, front page of the Herald newspaper. Alancha Martin wounding NPP with skirt and blouse campaign. Asantehene dams Ashanti region MPs tell them to focus on home, stop the hypocrisy and over enjoying Accra. And Ghanaian cocoa farmers cry over cash shortage as beans smuggling loose. This is a massive, massive story. And we've been trying to discuss the cocoa problem for some time now. It's the cocoa business is in dire straits. We need to look at the story later on. And then please hunt for Akimoda NPP constituency ex-chairman.
Let me take you to the Chronicle. Sources of anti-CC stolen cash revealed. Cecilia Dapa is on the front page this morning, former Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. Also on the front page, we are told government secures funds to rebuild La Hospital. The Honorable Katie Hammond is talking about the La Hospital. Is that within his area of competence? Honorable Katie, how is it? And then also, Ghana hosts Global Media Fund headquarters. I brought you that earlier. And then there's a certain lawyer here on the front page, Ralph Poku Eduse, and he wants to replace the Honorable, what's his name? First Deputy Speaker. Joe Wise. In the Bakwai constituency.
The front page of the Republic Press has a photo of Kennedy Ejapon breaks silence as he brags about control of NPP. Ex-Tremor shakes Accra. That was the thing that also
on Sunday,
had people talking on Sunday. What is happening?
I didn't hear. I heard a noise. I heard a noise. A bit of a bang.
So you didn't feel it?
I didn't feel it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't feel it. It was my wife who came. Did you feel it? I was like, I feel what?
All right.
The thing is happening. Please,
we've had back-to-back tremors. It's a bit worrying.
Please.
All right.
Let me take you to the finder this morning. Baumia's interfaith dialogues laudable. The Council of Regional Imams are backing the Vice President on his initiative. Also on the front page this morning, we are told NDC Mahama must condemn some George's religious intolerance attacks. That's coming in from CDS Africa. And First Sky Group boss calls for study of AI in senior high schools. That's Eric Sedinam Kutoche, the chief executive and the executive chairman of the First Sky Group.
The front page of the Daily Guide newspaper, 3 Ghanaian gun traffickers arrested in the USA.
Let me take you to the publisher. The new publisher says, populist leadership high risk for Ghana. EU reporter compares Bawumia versus Mahama.
The front page of the Today newspaper is talking about avoiding religious and ethnic comments after the election, of course. The passing of Raphael Jamna is on the front page on that paper.
If you go to the Ghanaian publisher, Imams back Baumia's interfaith style, and some other stories on the front page this morning. And if you go to the Inquisitor, the big story says, country broke or no broke, drama over post-budget workshop. And then also Dr. Opoku Prempe, Matthew Opoku Prempe, assures Cratchy man of government support, or is Cratchy man of government support. Yes, the people are calling incoming.
Well, there's concern about the potential to mine in forest reserves. That's on the front page of the BNFT this morning. CSO coalition kicks against mining in forest reserves. I'll give you details of that, Nathan. Over
Okay,
to you.
if you go online, Sky, you were concerned about the tremor, right? But the GGSA says stay calm.
I beg you,
Earth
please.
tremor was a minor incident.
Ayo.
So that's what's happening there. Citi FM and Citi TV donate medical supplies to Keta and Anglo Health Directorates. And police dispatch rider injured in head-on collision while escorting VIPs in Kumasi. And then you have Kennedy Ajipon saying, we control 1/3 of MPP. No major decision can be taken without consulting us. So that's what Honorable Kennedy Ajipon is saying. And of course, Raphael Dramina's story here as well. Plus, Man City Chelsea serve up 4-4 thriller in Citi FM's Premier League Roadshow at Oliver Twist Shack. Now, if you go to the business page of citynewsroom.com, Oforiata to present budget on Wednesday. And COCOBOT says will ensure there are enough funds for 2023-24 cocoa purchasing season. To other portals, myjoyonline.com, Gojo Ponkruma says IMF transaction is not a solution to our problems. He also says government taking steps to end attacks on journalists. And global leaders endorse first multilateral funding mechanism for journalism in low and middle income countries. And of course, the earth tremor which measured 3.6 on the Richter scale. If you go international, the WHO says Gaza's main hospital no longer functioning. So the situation keeps evolving in Gaza, and every day it takes on a worse complexion. And Israel's president denies strikes on Gaza hospital and toxic haze in Delhi after Diwali festival, and 5 U.S. troops killed in air crash in the Mediterranean. Okay.
Nathan, if you can start from the cocoa story.
Okay, let me give you that. I think it's a great way to plug into what is on the front page of the Herald. Now, Cocoa Board has assured that concrete steps have been taken to ensure that it will be able to secure enough funds to finance its annual cocoa purchases in the 2023-24 crop season. Now, against a backdrop of a report by Reuters that the firm had borrowed up to $200 million from cocoa traders to plug its financial gap, COCOBOT said it had adopted a two-pronged financing strategy to ensure that it obtained the required funds for the purchasing season. Now, a statement from COCOBOT in response to the Reuters report indicated that it had had firm assurances from its bankers of making funds available in time for the purchasing season, and that, quote, a cocoa syndicated loan had been laid in Parliament for consideration and approval, end quote.
Okay, so that story is also carried by the Herald on page 2 as Guardian Cocoa Farmers carry over cash shortage. I'll stay in that space on page 2 of the BNFT. A coalition of civil society organizations on environmental terrain has made an urgent call for government to revoke legislative instrument 2462, a law that they say allows unrestricted mining in the country's forest reserves. While describing the LA as retrogressive, the coalition called for immediate steps to repeal the law, which gives unfettered access to mining in forest reserves. Anything less than this, they warned, could result in the country losing its position as one of the top destinations on the continent for abundant forest reserves. They also cautioned that key tourism and forested areas such as the Kakum National Park and others could soon be lost if the law is not repealed.
Okay, talking about laws, let me take you to the Ghanaian Times because they are dealing with the financial aspect of lawmaking, if I'm actually coining it properly. If you go to page 12 of the newspaper, there's a story there talking about there is no need for us to impose new taxes, and the story says that the government must initiate new measures to broaden the tax net to shore up its revenue rather than traditional approach of burdening the existing taxpayer through the hiking of taxes and the introduction of new ones, some economic stakeholders have said. Now, according to them, it was important that new initiatives and strategies were deployed in the 2024 budget to improve tax collection, to shore up government revenue, and also outline measures to help address the macroeconomic challenges, such as high cost of capital, deficit, and inflation bedeviling the country. In addition, they said the government should outline initiatives in the 2024 budget to support the private sector and spur its growth to foster economic development and job creation. And Professor Peter Korte of the Institute of Statistics and Social and Economic Research, ISE, of the University of Ghana, is quoted as leading the conversation here in the Ghanaian Times. The story is actually authored by Kingsley Asari and Agnes Owusu. There are some other issues having to do with Parliament. President nominates 3 Supreme Court judges. The story says the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has nominated 3 justices of the Court of Appeal for consideration as justices of the Supreme Court. Now, they are Justices Henry Anthony Kofi, Yao Asare Dako, and Richard Ejay Frimpong. Parliament is considering their nomination. And if you go to the other side of the center spread, page 13, Asante Hene launches $10 million fund for Heal Komfanoche project. That's a great initiative. Kingsley E. Hope, writing from Kumasi, says the Asante Hene Otumfuo Seitutu has launched a $10 million Heal Komfanoche project, a fundraising campaign for the renovation and modernization of the main blocks of the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital in Kumasi. And we hope that they found the people responsible for killing Komfanoche's tree.
Yeah. Hopefully. Let me take you to the Republic Press on page 3. In the early hours of Sunday morning, residents of several areas in Accra experienced a moderate earth tremor at approximately 7:18 a.m. Reports of the tremor have been shared on social media by residents of Gbawe in Sakina, Obeyeye, Kasua, Sotium, Sapeman, English, Amanfro, and La. This is not the first time. On March 10 of this year, a minor earth tremor occurred in parts of Accra. Similarly, on December 12, 2022, 3 separate tremors were recorded in Accra within a span of approximately 5 hours. The first tremor was felt around 6:53. So, according to the story, the Ghana Geological Survey Authority says they are continuing to gather information. You have an update on that story.
So the GGSA, the Ghana Geological Survey Authority, says that these things happen often. So don't be too alarmed. Now, they issued a statement where its acting director general, Isaac Kwan Mwimbele, added that, quote, these are natural occurrences and therefore difficult to predict. The authority is committed to the continuous monitoring of these events and informing the public appropriately to ensure public safety and minimize risk. The public is urged to remain calm and go about their normal duty. So it measured 3.6 on the Richter scale. And like you mentioned, residents of Weja, 3.6. Hey. Residents of Weja, Nyanyano, and Denta, Botiano,
Good.
and others also experienced.
Page 3 of the Chronicle says that Accra Earth Tremor, GGSA gathering data to determine epicenter. You can grab a copy of the Chronicle and read that story. But let me draw your attention to some good news.
Just a quick note.
Okay.
The DGSA says the epicenter of the tremor is about 7 kilometers off Weja. And they provide some coordinates in their statement. Anyway, that's an update there. But let's proceed.
Okay, now if you go to the same page on the Chronicle, in the Chronicle, page 3, Ghana has successfully secured the hosting rights for the Africa Regional Headquarters of the International Fund for Public Interest Media. Now, the announcement made by the Minister for Information, Kojo Nkrumah, alongside the French Minister of State for Development and International Partnerships. The name is heavy. During the Paris Peace Forum in France on Thursday, November 10, 2023, marks a significant milestone in the country's commitment to supporting press freedom and independence of the media. But if you turn to the editorial page, Election 2024, we are told that GJA to crack the whip on unprofessional journalists in the country.
I'll take you to the front page of the Daily Graphic now. 3 cement factories shut down. The Ghana Standards Authority has shut down the operations of 3 cement manufacturing companies due to their use of inferior materials in their cement production. The companies are Shinan Safe Cement Ghana Limited. Look at that too. Safe Cement. Located at Ejisu Kumasi. Cement Ghana Limited, located at Offenso, and Unisem Cement Ghana, located at Bekwai, all in the Ashanti region. The move is part of a larger effort to crack down on substandard cement production across the country. Good job there, Professor Alex Dodu and the GSA. Shuts them all down.
Let me do some quick politics. If you go to the front page of the Finder, Dr. Baumia is being celebrated for his interfaith dialogues. So the story on page 2 says that in a show of solidarity and commendation, the Council of Regional Imams has urged Vice President and new Patriotic Party flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, to continue fostering unity through his consistent interactions with the Christian community in Ghana. Now, the appeal was made during a courtesy call by the Council to Dr. Bawumia's residence over the weekend to congratulate him on his election as the NPP flag bearer. Now, again, if you stay with that paper, that particular paper, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers is quoted on page 9 as saying that religious ethnic sentiments preceding 2024 elections worrying, and then some other stories in connection with this particular matter of religion and ethnicity.
Okay, so Mr. Showdown is also in the news. He says they control some part of the party. And then Alan Chamati is also on the front page of the Herald newspaper. If you go to that story, it says that the 2024 general election is fast approaching and could be a defining moment for the NPP. The factor of Alan Chamati and his movement for change shows clearly that the governing NPP has a divided front heading into the contest. And the Ken story, you'll find that on the front page of the Republic Press, where he's broken the silence and says that, yes, they do control one-third of the party.
Let me just mention quickly that if you go to page 2 of the new publisher, Dr. John Kuma's name is coming up. He's my friend, please.
He's coming up for what?
Potential running mate. Hey, please. So yes, Napode in there. John Kuma is in there. Who else? Saleh, you know my.
Now John Kuma is in there.
Yeah, that's right.
That occurred Sunday night.
And he's also a reverend minister.
Okay. I didn't know that part about John. I thought it was a lawyer.
They want to balance the ticket. So there will be some Christian something. That's what
we are now being told this reverend minister. Finally, on page 78 of the Daily Graphic, just headline: build and manage your own stadiums. NSA boss to GFA Premier Clubs. Supporter of Peter Chumesi. Look, the president and the sports minister. I keep repeating this. Look, Professor Chumesi, fine academic in his field. Take him away from sports. He doesn't know anything about sports.
Okay, you will discuss it.
Take him away.
On that.
But just so you know, Dr.
The Citi Breakfast Show.
Is on the
Rise
front page.
above the
He's
noise.
assuring Krachimai of government support. He's incoming. That's how they're calling it. Incoming.
Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half